and welcome to this special show ahead of the budget. We are coming to you from CII to get some of the best voices as to what we can expect in the budget. In the first part of the show, we really had people from the industry telling us that they're seeing some of the worst times in 10 years. Some haven't had it as bad, and this is across sectors with we are seeing housing, steel, automotive, tough times really for the industry. At the same time, there's hope that the budget will bring something that will help revive that growth, kickstart investments. Now let's try to get a sense of whether this budget can be a reformist budget. Mr. Sriram, we often use the term reforms a little loosely, especially when we talk about what are the expectations. But in this case particularly, pressure there on the government not to be populist, despite what we've seen happen, whether it's the defeat in the Delhi elections or other reasons why we could think this government would be populist. Do you think we'll see an element of populism?
I feel it will be a balanced budget. I think the approach of the government in our discussions and the seriousness towards things like fiscal consolidation, things like having consumption going up, things like ease of doing business, things like Make in India being pushed faster. I think these are areas which will be given a tremendous amount of...
But some element of populism is expected.
I don't know what... You see, there are so many subsidy schemes which are already there, which should be there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
If there is anywhere the government feels something more, little bit needs to be done, so be it. But I think the overall direction of containing the deficits and ensuring that subsidies are targeted correctly, I think that focus is there, which is important.
We all know that the issue is the demand, and you have the investment demand on one side, you have the consumption demand on one side, and you have to boost consumption demand. And for that, if you will have to give something away on taxes.
Right.
And if you do that, if you call it populism, I don't think that's right. So you need to view it correctly.
That's an important point. That even if you have some minor tax giveaways, people would say it's a populist budget, but at the same time, if it actually helps spur demand, you're actually moving in the direction of growth as well. Now let's try and get the industry voices here, captains of industry, to tell us the one thing they're hoping to hear in the finance minister's speech, because at the end of the day, it's a long wish list, but the one thing that can change things around dramatically. What's the one thing you're hoping to hear? Mr. Ravi.
Well, I'm really hoping that the government of India will, take initiative to invest more of public sector money into the economy. As I said earlier, that the private sector is really starved for capital at this moment. And secondly, they are in the watch mode. They would like to see that the policies being announced by the government, they are consistent, they remain constant before they invest their money. Secondly, there are a lot of projects which still remain stuck, and the government really has to help those projects be bailed out. The one thing I like to mention here, very often in our country, when it comes to manufacturing sector or other economic sector, we try to paint them by the same brush. But look at the sectors which are the core manufacturing sector, which are investment intensive. I think government needs to really exhibit a lot of sensitivity towards those sectors.
Sure.
And therefore...
So you're saying a sector-specific approach is needed rather than a blanket Make in India kind of campaign, which really talks about all of industry but doesn't highlight the issues faced by specific sectors.
For example, you take the steel sector. Steel sector contributes nearly 3.5% to the national GDP.
Right.
And so is the other capital goods sectors. These sectors have gone through a very difficult time.
Manufacturing versus services, I can see Mr. Jagdish Khattar there smiling. Mr. Khattar, any ideas, any thoughts for the finance minister?
Sometimes I feel that we always look for new investments, and that is as if they are going to solve the problems. FDI, railways, defense, these are going to take few years before you see anything. We should look after the industry which is already there. And we have SMEs, small industries, medium. Can we look after them so that they become strong and they will expand?
Right.
So I think that is very important. We always talk about big things and these. Now, one area which I feel can make a lot of difference, and I'm a great believer, is anyone talking about khadi, handloom, handicrafts. These skills are going down. Their sales are going down, but they are a huge employment generator. In our e-commerce portal, you have platforms. They are not allowed to send to the customers.
Sure.
Can government allow customer permission to sell only khadi, handlooms and handicrafts?
Okay, so e-commerce in these areas is something that can help actually boost jobs, deliver a lot more than what is being done. G.V. Sanjay Reddy, you're again in an area which touches really the core of the economy, several areas I should say. Share with us the one policy initiative that can help change things around rather quickly for you.
As far as infrastructure is concerned, obviously it's a very complex subject. There are so many sectors as part of infrastructure, so it would be very difficult to say just one thing. But if you say that, where the government should focus its attention is to, again, public spending in infrastructure and also fix the problems and clean up some of the issues of the past. I think these are two main areas that the government
Any
can focus on.
specific suggestions? Because public spending is again something that even his advisors have told him, the finance minister's advisors, that yes, you need to do that. At the same time, we know that he has his hands tied because of fiscal deficit issues. Could you share with us any specific initiatives that you would like to hear in the speech on Saturday?
For example, I think, you need to recycle capital. Whether it's private investment or public investment, is there a way that there are a lot of restrictions in private companies, infrastructure companies, where you cannot sell your equity after the project goes into operation? Let them sell it and recycle the capital and reinvest in new projects.
I'd like to add 2 points by which I think the financing side of infrastructure, which is required. Today in India, a lot of money goes into gold, goes into real estate, goes into many of these type of investments, which are a security and safety net. I think it's desirable for the government to look at coming out with some type of bonds or instruments which encourage people to actually invest into these sort of instruments for infrastructure and make the interest they get on that tax-free. Second, I'd like to add quickly is that public sector companies, it is estimated they have about 200,000 crores surplus every year, 2 lakh crores. Can one devise some system? It's really out of the box. I'm just thinking, out of the box. Can one say, okay, 50% of their surplus goes into an SPV, which then is worked on as new investments for infrastructure, so that there is something happening for the future? I think we have to think out of the box to do something.
Out of the box thinking, that perhaps takes care of what Mr. Khattar was also saying, new investments versus taking care of the existing players. Mr. Vinayak Chatterjee, staying with the whole infrastructure piece again, your thoughts on something that can really change things around dramatically. He's talked about infrastructure bonds. You've heard him talk about recycling of capital. Anything that can actually make that material difference? Because we've been talking about infrastructure as the missing piece for a very, very long time.
Two clear thoughts since you started with ideas on a reformist budget. One is we are looking for creation of this institution called 3P India, which we are looking forward to being staffed at a board level with very, very credible people who understand PPP formats and policies. That's something we are expecting as an implementation to last year's budget announcement of a 500 crore allocation. And that will reset the PPP agenda. The second is, we are all talking about public expenditure to boost infra spend and to boost growth. We know that the Consolidated Fund of India cannot absorb those levels. We are looking for something which can loosely be called a National Infrastructure Fund, which will be able to garner resources from not just Indian sources, but even the goodwill that Mr. Modi has built up with other nations, whether it's the Japanese, the US, the French. Get the funds in, create a vehicle called the National Infrastructure Fund, so that you're not dependent on, in a sense, fiscal indiscipline, but you have a very credible vehicle outside the Consolidated Fund of India.
All right, a National Infrastructure Fund outside the budget, something that can help attract capital from overseas, build really on some of the initiatives that the Prime Minister has taken, kind of the goodwill. So that's again an interesting suggestion there. Sumant Sinha, in your area, renewables, anything that the government can do? They've been focusing a lot in this space, but does the budget need to provide that extra fillip?
Well, there's a lot that the finance minister can do. I think this is one of the sectors where you can really get things, capacity addition happening very fast, because lead times are very small. It's not like a long project that takes three to 4 years before you can even start getting it off the ground. Here you can have capacity addition in a year's time. We can get fiscal incentives, for example, reduction of MAT or some sort of other generation-based tax incentive or something like that. Number two, the finance minister can look to give some sort of interest subvention, reduce our cost of capital. I think that's, ultimately our only cost is cost of capital. We don't have any fuel cost. Allow the formation of investment, the infrastructure investment trust. I think there are some tax issues there. Those need to be resolved, and once those are done, then actually recycling of capital in this industry is possible. And the fourth and the last thing would be, we have a lot of past backlogs in terms of payments. The finance minister needs to be able to make allocations either from the National Clean Energy Fund or from the budget to our ministry to be able to clear those old backlogs.
First, the good news is actually in the auto side, which is the two-wheeler side. So that's, we have not seen the growth numbers that we were for a very long time. It's plateaued out, and still we see some very small growth happening. So that's not the bad news side. The other side is that where we are seeing the green shoots is the heavy commercial vehicles
Right.
actually now coming back.
Right.
The moment the mines come up, the road projects get on the ground, start, you will see immediate movement on the commercial vehicle side.
So that's something that will really.
There's
pick up
there's also this aspect of the small and medium companies, and I'm talking about the medium companies not in the context of what the government says, but if we focus on the cost of transaction coming down,
Right.
and the key thing, the actual word is to be competitive.
Right.
And competitiveness not only in the four walls of the company, but competitive as an economy.
Sure.
And
So
that's
that's-
where we are really going to do well, where we are actually doing very well on the export side.
Okay, I'd like a quick thought from anybody here in the room, Mr. Sondi, if you could answer that, or anyone else on the whole idea of ease of doing business. Because he spoke about the cost of transaction, and that's one area that the government has focused on a lot. We've heard the Prime Minister say we want to be in the top 50. At the same time, you've got industry voices saying not enough has been done on the ground to ease up the way for doing business in India. Quick thoughts from you
Can
there.
I add one which will also be ease of doing business is GST by
Right.
April 1st next year.
2016.
Very clear. We need a unified country and a unified market. On ease of business, actually, I think the attention that is being given is there. And it will definitely translate into action. Basis, trust. Which
Okay.
means use technology, use e-governance, use self-certification by industry. You'll find the booklets becoming 30% of what they are.
Are you satisfied with what's been done so far?
I think so. I think certainly a lot of progress is made, and I think, as Suman said, to turn around a company takes time, to turn around a country takes
Takes a
longer.
long-
What we need is
Right.
the green shoots moving into action.
All right, so you're hearing some people, I know Mr. Khattar, you have a point to make. I'll just come to this table also, Mr. Banerjee. But quick views really, just to carry forward that point. So the industry really saying we understand that things will take time to turn around. It's not going to happen overnight. At the same time, the urgency to deliver things rather quickly. Make in India, again, one of the Prime Minister's pet projects, giving that much needed boost and fillip to manufacturing in this budget.
Yeah. One of the points that we haven't touched upon as yet is the innovation part of it. So cost competitiveness, we have lost the game, to be honest, especially to people like China. But on value competitiveness, what is it that SMEs can contribute to the whole research and development, skill development, innovative part of it, and can something be done in that area? It's a pity that under the current scheme, I think it's less than 2,000 companies that are certified as R&D recognized by the government of India.
So
in a
that's
country
an
as large
area
as
where
that,
he
which
can
needs a
provide
lot of
that,
fillip. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
fillip. Nikhil Sawhney, your thoughts there?
No, similarly, I think an investment tax credit is necessary for corporates to enable them to add more assets. A reduction in corporate taxation may also be thought about, given the vision of 5 years in terms of stimulating growth, stimulating investment. I think that there's a need to focus on Make in India with the large vision that the Modi government has set out, be it Swachh Bharat, Make in India, Jan Dhan, Digital India. There are many of them.
But then is it too large a vision which is not which is not percolating down to real action? Because that's some of the criticism that's coming, that these are big campaigns, big announcements, but what about really things changing on the ground?
Well, exactly. There are certain overlaps over a lot of these. For example, sustainability and climate change, which has actually been adopted by the government, and they've taken a stand to increase renewable energy as a percentage of our energy generation. That does translate into Make in India and Manufacture in India, as well as with Digital India. There are convergence on a lot of these platforms. Right. I think the budget should provide clarity on where those convergences happen and a roadmap as to how they can be executed.
All right, clarity, roadmap, so those are some of the terms we're hearing the industry talk about and as to what they expect from the budget. We slip into a quick break, back with plenty more on what we can realistically expect. Stay tuned.